May 17th, 1892. Dear Martha, I'm still in the quarantine hospital, if you can call it that. About 40 of us are on pallets under some shade trees in a big field. I found out the nice woman's name is Mrs. Plum, and she lives here in the big house. She brought a soldier to see me this morning. He had a stack of papers. He said, "I'm here to help you. I understand you are looking for your father and mother." I said, "Yes, Dalton and Grace Bodain." He said, "Any brothers and sisters?" Mrs. Plum whispered, "She lost a brother to the fever." The man looked through sheets of paper. He said, "Bodain, Bodain, Bodain," and ran his finger down the list. "No Bodain." He made some notes and promised to see what he could find out. Mrs. Plum brought me some soup and said, "Eat, child, you need strength." I said, "I don't know why I kept that bracelet. I don't usually act like that." Mrs. Plum said, "You've lost a lot. I'm sure you just want to hold on to something that you have." As I ate, I wondered what had become of Mama and Pap. Why weren't they here? Why weren't they looking for me? Was Mama still sick? Had Pap come down with the fever? I looked around for anyone I knew, anyone from our wagon train. I asked a girl in the next row if she knew where the people were from the wagon train. She said they could be anywhere. So many people are sick, they just put you wherever there's room. I heard there was a wagon train, but I have no idea where all the sick folks were taken. Someone called out, "Did you say wagon train? There's a woman here, lay next to me, who was with the wagon train. She's mighty sick, though." It was Elsie May Pitts. She was on a pallet 3 rows over. I made my way over and knelt down. "Miss Elsie May, it's Teddy Bodain. Have you seen my parents? Do you know what happened to my parents? I've been sick, and I don't know where they are." She was pale and weak. She opened her eyes a little. She said, "Who are you looking for?" I said, "Dalton and Grace Bodain." She said, "Oh, their daughter is sick. They took her away in the wagon. The mama was bad off. Mr. Bodain got the fever too. Poor family. Lost their baby, they did." I tried to be patient. I said, "Where did they take them, Miss Essie? Where did they take Dalton and Grace Bodain?" Her fever must have been up because she said, "I make a great pound cake. Would you like a slice? Help yourself, honey. Be sure you get the recipe before you leave." I crept back to my pallet and laid down, trying not to cry from frustration. Great buckets of butter beans. Mama and Pap are both sick. Where are they? Do they know where I am? And where is Ethelbert? My head hurt. I felt as weak as a kitten. Love, Teddy. May 19th, 1892. Dear Martha, yesterday the soldier came back and brought a clerk from the yellow fever quarantine office. Mrs. Plum introduced him. The clerk said, "You are looking for a Mr. and Mrs. Bodain from the wagon train?" I was so scared I just nodded. I noticed Mrs. Plum come and stand by my side. The clerk said, "I'm sorry to tell you, but a Mr. and Mrs. Bodain from the wagon train expired 2 days ago." He shuffled through the paper and checked his watch. "Expired?" Mrs. Plum said, "Teddy, I'm so sorry, but your parents have passed away." I stared at her. The clerk said, "Passed away means died." He sounded impatient. I don't know why, but it was like this string of firecrackers went off all in me at once. I screamed, "I know what passed away means. Do you think I'm dumb just because I'm a kid? You can't keep records worth beans. You don't even know where all the wagon train people are. My baby brother passed away. He was just 2 years old. You don't know him. We had to bury him on the spring bank. I know what passed away means." The clerk and the soldier backed away. I was still yelling for Mama and Pap when Mrs. Plum handed me a cup of water. She said, "Drink this, honey. This will help you feel better." I said, "My Mama and Pap are dead?" She said, "I'm so sorry." I thought about Mama and Pap. I needed them. How could they be dead? Mrs. Plum must have put sleepy drops in the water because soon I was floating. I was dreaming, but it was as if I was awake at the same time. I dreamed of flying kites with Minnie and Travis and Jasper. I saw Travis cut my line and I watched the Florida Belle float up into the sky. We laughed and laughed and laughed. I called to Travis, "Minnie and I will pay you back. Just you wait and see." He laughed like only Travis could laugh. I felt the sun shining on my face. I saw the fiddlers and the banjo players play into the beat of the band as folks danced and sang at the whoop-de-doo. I saw Miss Melman waltzing with Captain Walsh. I saw the Carters and the Larks. I saw the folks from the other wagon train. Who did we meet? The Bodains. The Bodains! The Bodains! I woke with a start. It was early morning. Birds were chirping in the trees. I sat up on my pallet. Something caught my eye. Something red. A red bird! A cardinal! He flittered from the oak tree to the bush near my pallet. He looked at me, cocking his head from one side to the other. He opened his throat and sang a joyful little jingle. A few seconds later, the soft brown mate joined him on the other branch. She looked at me with bright eyes as if she was trying to tell me something. I knew it right then. The Bodains the soldier talked about were not my mama and pap. They were the Bodains we met on the other wagon train. It had to be. Mama and pap were alive. I just know it. Love, Teddy.